So I've been asked to bring the communion word today. Kind of wish I had the word actually. I was joking with the guy that I worked with yesterday about that. Yeah, maybe I should just tell him after work. So much easier that way. Just because it's not the easiest thing for me to get up here and bring a communion word. A year ago, I was afraid of just public speaking, let alone getting up and bringing a communion word in front of the church. I've been pretty nervous this whole time, but as that song, I believe with all my heart that the Spirit of the Son dwells within me, crying out, Abba, Father. That's how I got everything that's on this piece of paper, is the Spirit within me crying out. And it's kind of nice to be able to actually write it down and share it with you guys. But it's amazing how when you're filled with the Spirit, how it takes your nervousness away. But it's also amazing how fast your nervousness can come back. I think we're about due for a new mic stand right here. Okay, the thing I was going to end with here, it just didn't really fit in with the rest, but it's just something that a guy that I worked with, he said to me, and he's a pretty strong Christian. He goes to a church right across from the Lowe's up there in Kent, and he actually has a big cross that he puts a wheel on, and he'll drag the thing up and down Pack Highway. So he's kind of one of the unique ones, but he's been to Israel, and he's seen all the sites over there. But he told me one day when we were working together that the word is like a fire, and you constantly have to feed a fire wood, or the fire will go out. And that's the same thing with us. We constantly have to feed our fire, our minds, with the Lord's word, or our fire will go out. And we've heard Brad talk about that before. The knowledge about Him is the main thing. Just if you don't learn everything you can about God, then it's hard to understand a lot of stuff that comes to us. So that was at the very end. So I'll go ahead and make that part. So I just want to thank God for giving me the courage to stand up here and bring this word. Even though I don't believe I'm ready to give a word up here, the Lord's will is for me to give a word up here. And I'm doing this out of obedience to the Lord, not my own will, but the Father's will. God puts His obedience in us. God puts His obedience in us when He creates us, along with many other things. He blesses us with. So I was asked by Tom to give the communion word, and I didn't want to say yes, but here I am. I did say yes. By saying yes, I am being obedient to the Lord and also to this fellowship. Even though every bone in my body doesn't want to be up here, the Lord spoke to me and told me it's the right thing to do. The Lord knows that I'm afraid of public speaking, let alone speaking about His word to a group of people. It's very intimidating. And we are not supposed to get up here and talk about ourselves, which I try my hardest not to say I. But there's a lot of I's on here, but where's it going here? But everything that I've learned about God and my relationship with Christ, I instantly have to relate to my own life in order for me to understand it. So forgive me if I come off as if I'm talking about myself, because it's not my intention. So let's talk about obedience. I looked up obedience in Webster's dictionary. The first one says it means an act of or instance of obeying. The quality or state of, and the second one was the quality or state of being obedient. We or all of you are in an act of obedience to the Lord right now, just by coming here today and sitting here listening to me and also singing the songs this morning, and also listening to me ramble on right now. Not just by coming every Sunday and every Thursday to learn about His will in our lives, also fellowshipping around His Word and offering to one another on a daily basis. We are obeying what God wants for us in our life. And through faith is where we get this obedience. It says in Romans 16:26, but now revealed and made known through the prophetic writings by the command of the eternal God, so that all Gentiles might come to the obedience that comes through faith. Also in Romans 1:5 and 6 it says, through Him we receive grace and apostleship to call the Gentiles to the obedience that comes from faith for His name's sake. And in 6 it also, in Romans 1:6 it also says, and you also are among those Gentiles who are called to belong to Jesus Christ. I myself am a very faith-filled person. I have an unmeasurable amount of faith in me. I've always told Jamie, with the amount that she studies the Word and the amount of faith that I have, us together, if we were just one person, would be almost perfect servant, you know, but she's a lot better about studying the Word. I think I'm a lot better at the faith part of it. So I have an unmeasurable amount of faith in the Lord that He will watch over my family and our fellowship. But I know the Lord wants much more than that from me. It's just being faithful. I'm not saying that that's all I have, because I'm also, you know, I also have other things. I'm very obedient to the Lord. I have a strong will to offer. All these areas, faithfulness, obedience, and offering, you can never have enough of or give enough to the Lord. You can have all the faith in the world, but that's not good enough to get you into heaven. And me, I'm obedient by getting up here, and I'm obedient to the Lord in many ways, but I'm disobedient to the Lord in just as many ways. And that's why and that's what I have to work on in my life, and maybe you too in yours. Where I'm disobedient the most is I do not study the Bible as much as I should. Every week I offer in different ways, like hauling the equipment and hosting, but it's all for nothing if I don't change my ways as far as studying the Word. Like when I leave every week, you know, I hear a message and I get excited about going home. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to study, you know, this week. And it seems like every week you get home and you just turn on the TV, and at least for me, I don't know, I mean, maybe some of you guys do the same thing. You get real excited about the Word here, and then when you leave here, it just changes for some reason. You just get caught up in the world. I had that pretty much written down here, but let me read. Like when I leave the church, I go outside the camp, like Brad said, I get caught up in the worldly things and I put God in the box every week. And I take him out a couple times a week when I need him, and then I put him back when I don't need him. And the Lord knows it. There's no hiding anything from him. The way to have a relationship with Christ is to learn everything you can about him and give yourself to him every day. Like Tom says all the time, even if you give the Lord 10% of your day, that's enough. That's better than nothing. And look to Christ in every situation in our lives. Try to live your life as Christ did. Though we can't be perfect vessels like him, we can try. We can try to be, and that's all we can do. He is born from above, and we are born of the flesh. And that's what the adoption is all about. God only had one Son, Jesus Christ. This is the way we can become sons of God, is through the adoption process, which is by having a relationship with Jesus, the Son of God. Jesus is our only link or way to heaven. If you don't know him, God will not recognize you. In Galatians 4:4 through 6, it says, But when the right time came, God sent his Son, born of the woman, subject to the law. God sent him to buy our freedom for us, who were slaves to the law, so that he could adopt us, his very own, so he could adopt us as his very own children. And because we are his children, God has sent the Spirit of the Son into our hearts, prompting us to cry out, Abba, Father. Okay. And that's where I kind of had, I stepped aside there and I took off my ending there. So that's kind of what I came up with, and I'm sorry. It's my first time being up here. And like I said, if it came off as if I was talking about myself, it's how I relate the word to my life is I process it. I look at my own life and put a work in my own life with it. So I was thinking of having us do the communion. I don't know, I've always kind of thought about doing it. I was going to see if we could all come up and just grab the elements ourselves and then go back and sit down.